ain't no old guy or anything like that, but in all my years, I've never seen a high-profile case like this where the defendant actually takes the stand. But what's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? Welcome back to Moxy Approved. What's up with y'all, Moxy Mob? You already know what to do. Hit that like button, watch all the way through to help me out, and share. Share with your friends, especially if they don't know about this case. But what we talking about? What we talking about? Kyle Rittenhouse. If you're not familiar with him, he's on trial this week. Kyle Rittenhouse is now he's 18, but at the time he was a 17-year-old last year that went over to Kenosha, Wisconsin for a Black Lives Matter rally. There was a Black Lives Matter rally over there for Jacob Blake, who had got shot in the back by the police a couple years ago, about a year ago. So he went over there. Kyle Rittenhouse went to the Black Lives Matter rally, but he didn't go to rally with Black Lives Matter. He went there to be some unannounced help to the police. Yes, he was 17 years old, grabbed an AR-15, not even from the state of Wisconsin, crossed over Wisconsin line and went to that rally to help out the police. I guess he figured the police needed his help from a 17-year-old. All right. Now, there's many problems with this story. I don't know where this guy's parents at and why in the world they would let him have an AR-15 that also was customized. He had put some customization, which is illegal, to the AR-15. So he went over there, and during the middle of the protest, he ended up shooting 3 people and killing 2. He killed 2 of them, shot 3 people. Now, right now, he's on trial. And I will say this trial is just going away. I've never seen any trial go in my time here. And I will say I'm not surprised. It's almost funny to me. It's not funny because I don't like laughing when there's some dead bodies involved, but there were two white people died in this, all right? I will say I ain't got no dog in this fight. You know, I do think it's messed up that some lives were lost in this. It was 2 white guys got killed. Another one was injured. The only one that survived was the one that actually had a weapon himself. He had a pistol, okay? Now, this trial is going on, and it's real weird because, you know, for us blacks, any of y'all that are familiar with the legal system, you know, a lot of times we have public defenders and stuff. If you can't afford a lawyer, have a public defender. And I've seen it. A public defender will get mad at you sometimes for telling them you're innocent. They will literally get mad and be like, dude, I don't have time for this. I've seen it where guys be like, hey, man, I ain't do nothing. I want to. They'll be like, oh, look, man. They charging you with all this time, okay? You just need to make a deal with them. And you may be like, well, wait a minute. I didn't do anything. The public defender be like, look, I ain't got time for this. You could represent yourself. I've seen them do it, all right? He don't have a public defender. White people gave this guy $1 million for a lawyer. He's $1 million for legal costs, all right? But still, I've also seen lawyers tell their clients, even if the defendant and be like, yo, I'm innocent and I want to get on stand and I want to express this. They'll say, no, you don't need to do that. You're not smart enough. The prosecutor will tear you apart. He'll say something and you may not even realize how you're answering it, and you'll be charged guilty. I've even seen some lawyers tell their clients, if you plan on getting on the stand, I will not represent you, okay? Now, this guy lawyer told him to get on the stand. And if you haven't learned this already, this is where he did this little fake cry. Let's show him this little cry.
Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side. And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski, and there were people right there. That's what I. That's what I run.
We're gonna just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir.
The thing about that is, I'm gonna tell y'all something, white people. Y'all suck at fake crying. Y'all suck at crying, period. But y'all really suck at fake crying. And then when y'all do cry, right, man, I ain't about to get into all this, especially I love y'all, white Moxy. I do. I love y'all, white Moxy. And I ain't talking about y'all. But anyways, this guy cried, and you would think the prosecutors would tear this guy apart. The prosecutor on this case is doing a horrible job. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's doing a horrible job on purpose. Okay? They don't want to see this young kid spend his whole life in jail. Look, the prosecutor said, it actually helps him out, said that he probably did this from Call of Duty. Like, look at this clip and look how mature the 18-year-old boy now is looking in comparison to a lawyer. But wait. Before we go too far in this video, please do your boy one small favor. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's free. You ain't gotta pay nothing. Please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you.
You picked it up because it looked cool.
I thought it looked cool. Guess that's the reason, yes.
It resembled the types of weapons that are used in first-person shooter video games, correct?
I don't really play first-person shooter video games. I have, but I believe there's a variety of guns, including shotguns, pistols. There's guns in video games that resemble all guns.
Isn't it true when you would hang out with Dominic Black, you'd play Call of Duty and other first-person shooter video games?
Sometimes.
And those are games in which you use weapons like AR-15s to pretty much shoot anybody who comes at you, correct?
It's a video game where two players are playing together. I don't really understand the meaning of your question.
Now, you see that? That is not by accident. That is not by accident. The lawyer is purposely doing a horrible job so this guy can get off, okay? All right? And this guy, the prosecutor, is doing so much of a horrible job that the judge pretty much cussed this guy out. The prosecutor tried to make Kyle feel bad for being silent this whole time. Like, you're supposed to be silent while you have an active case going on. You're not supposed to talk about it. The prosecutor actually tried to say this guy is guilty for that. And look what the judge said to him.
Why would you think that made it okay for you, without any advance notice, to bring this matter before the jury? I was astonished when you began your examination by commenting on the defendant's post-arrest silence. That's basic law. It's been basic law in this country for 40 years, 50 years. I have no idea why you would do something like that. And it gives, I'll leave it at that.
Now, see, you're doing something like that. I don't know if the jury was in there or not, but you're doing something like that. It's like, that's pretty much a sign to me and everybody else that the prosecutors, they're losing right now. Besides all of that, I think something very interesting is our boy, Lebron James, stepped in and pretty much dogged out Kyle Rittenhouse. He pretty much said, hey, those wasn't tears. That boy went in there with lemon heads. I like that. Now, y'all know LeBron is top tier activist. In my book, he's top tier. I think the only athletes I would say that are more activist than he is probably Kyrie Irving and Colin Kaepernick, okay? But LeBron is up there, and of course, he's taking a lot of heat from conservatives just for putting a statement out there like that. I already said I ain't got no dog in this fight, but I always appreciate LeBron's voice when it comes to civil rights issues. Now, how I feel about this case, I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is just a case that they're using to divide us, all right? We already know, oh yeah, they're trying to distract us. Yeah, we know they're trying to distract us, but they're also trying to use this to divide us, okay? Of course, this is black and white, liberal, conservative, all of that. They're using this as something else to divide us. This is another topic where we're divided, okay? The research that I did do on this case, all right, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. He killed 3 white people. He killed 2 white people, injured one person that was white. When I look at the facts of this case, the boy really does have a case for self-defense, at least on a little bit. There's other charges that he should do some time for, like bringing that gun over state lines. It's only a misdemeanor, I found out. It's only a misdemeanor for a minor to have a gun and bring it over state lines. So I think at least for that, he should get charged for that. But when you hear the story of what happened to this dude, it sounds like he does have some sort of case for self-defense. And it's just messed up because the way it was presented to us by CNN and all that, when you don't do your own research, you can be on the wrong side of facts. They've been introducing this case to us as this guy as a vigilante.
Kenosha shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse, he murdered 2 people, by the way.
Rittenhouse is basically what you would have had in a school shooter. He's a 17-year-old kid. He shouldn't have had a gun. He crossed state lines to supposedly protect property. No, he was going out to shoot people.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a vigilante. Kyle Rittenhouse, the armed teenage vigilante.
A 17-year-old vigilante, arguably a domestic terrorist, picked up a rifle, drove to a different state to shoot people.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a guy who's deeply racist, went with weapons to a Black Lives Matter protest looking to get in trouble. He did. He murdered a couple of people.
Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old kid, just running around, shooting and killing protesters.
You see the 17-year-old who was radicalized by Trumpism, took his AR-15 to Kenosha and became a killer.
I know this guy is not a saint. Well, he did want to be a cop. No one asked him to go over there. He was wrong for that. But they also charged him with first-degree murder. Now, any of y'all that know legal jargon, that's hard to prove that this man got out of bed to go over there to kill those 3 people in particular. So they gave him these big charges that's hard for him to prove. You know, gave him a weak prosecutor where the 18-year-old is looking more mature than him. You know, but not only that, I will say this. That's going off topic a little bit. I will say this. They said the guy got chased, that he got in an argument with another white guy. The other white guy did not have a gun, and he chased him behind a car. Now, any of y'all that are gun owners, you know if somebody is chasing you and you have a gun, I mean, you got a gun. At some point, you're going to turn around, you're going to use the gun, okay? So one guy was throwing objects at him or something like that, and he shot him. And then the third one, the last one, the only one survived was one that came at him with a pistol. And he shot him, and that ended that whole little shootout that was about to happen. So, you know, there's still more details in this case, but the small amounts of this that I heard, he does have sort of a case for self-defense. The only problem I have is this guy really isn't that innocent. Why not just have a real fair case? Why shouldn't the prosecutor do the best job that he can do like they would do if it was one of us? Why is he not doing the best job he can do? All right. And we know why this is not happening. Because this is America. They didn't pick no blacks at all for this jury. And you know what? I will say this. I wish they picked juries like this all the time. Okay? It's a white guy and other white guys. So all his peers, they picked all white people. Right? Well, then why not for our cases when it's a black guy and it's a white guy, why not pick half white and half black? That's easy, right? Okay? If it's black on black crime, why not pick all black jury? Why? I think they should do this from now on. Like I said, I ain't got a dog in the fight on this case. I don't. All right? I don't like hearing about people dying. That's a fact. And my heart goes out to those 2 white guys that died. They were there for Black Lives Matter. Okay? But all in all, I will say, any of us blacks, let's just be real. If we saw some white dude at some protest with a gun, with an AR-15 walking there and we ain't got no pistol, probably going the other way. I ain't gonna say all of us. I'm saying I'm going the other way. I'm not getting in an argument with this dude or some stuff like that. And I ain't got no pistol. These white people start throwing stuff at him and all that, and they didn't have a gun. And that just seems like that's a bad ending right there. To me, this case was privilege on privilege. That's exactly what it was. And I don't know when this case is gonna wrap. They're saying like maybe next week this case is gonna wrap. Let's say that this Thursday coming up that this case wraps. It's just gonna be another day in America. It's gonna be Thursday. It's gonna be Thursday. This is kind of stuff that happens all the time. Once again, though the boy may have a case here, they're not giving a chance for justice to prevail. It's just a weak attempt, all right? They might as well just give the boy a year for having to having a customized AR-15 and bringing that gun over Wisconsin state lines. They might just give them a year and stop wasting taxpayer money, because that's exactly what they're doing. Because they know damn well they don't want that boy to go to jail. You know what they say? You shouldn't ruin. I've seen them say this in some of these young white kids' cases. You shouldn't want to ruin a young boy's life. That's how they do their own. They don't want to ruin their lives. And don't forget, white people had already gave him $1 million for his legal team. So another day in America. That's all it is. Well, anyways, y'all know how I like to end our videos over here on Moxy Approved, right? With that water. I see y'all here next time on Moxy Approved.